Greetings friends, it's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush, and today I've sort of put my watercolors to one side and decided to work on some other things. I've got so many projects going, always something on my art table, but I had these little shoes in mind for some of my dolls, so I created a pattern. And I took this upholstery fabric swatch that I got from some friends. They were getting rid of a whole bunch of these samples of upholstery fabric. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that make a darling shoe? And so I traced my doll's foot onto a piece of tissue paper and created myself a little pattern for mini Mary Janes. Now I've got to cut it out of upholstery fabric, and then I've got to cut a piece that matches from a, well, in this case I just used some muslin. I needed another piece for the inside. So I pinned it down and I cut both shoes, and I think the deal is that in the evenings there's just not much going on. I turn my lights down and I decide that I need to work on something while we're watching movies. My little fingers are always twitching, there's always something going on. So I got some bias tape and I sewed this part by machine. Sewing the inside layer and the outside layer together with the bias tape. Got rid of the sound on the video because I had a bunch of inspirational music playing in the background and it sounded pretty wonky on my recording. So you can't hear my machine, but I figured I was going to do a voiceover anyway. So there's the bottom part of one foot. And now for the upper section. Pin them together because, you know, I don't want them to move as I'm sewing around them. And you start at one end and then you sort of miter the corners. Easing it around the curves. Bias tape is perfect for that kind of thing. You can just ease it into curved places. This is the tricky part, going around the little extra piece that will be the strap for the Mary Jane. Eventually my fingers are too big and I have to use a sim ripper to help poke in the corners. There we go. So today is supposed to be 107 degrees. It's pretty hot already, and I am so glad I am working inside and not outside, or not having to get in my car and drive anywhere since our air conditioning in our car isn't working. Cut off the bottom and trim a little, and then I am ready to finish up the bias tape. Miter that corner, there we go, and there we are, there's one. The other one's the same way. And now I'm ready to do the sewing by hand part. So I line it up. I've got to make sure that the top part of the curvature hits the toe of the little shoe. And I sew around the bias tape by hand, doing an over and over stitch. My mother called it a whip stitch. So I'm going to whip it all the way around. In the end, I'm going to sew a tiny piece of Velcro across the strap and let it Velcro down. That way I won't have to do a buttonhole for the Mary Jane strap. Then when I get to the heel, it of course overlaps somewhat. So ta-da, there it is, all finished and ready for the doll. What did you think of my little Mary Janes? I'd love to hear your comments. Take it easy, everyone. Stay safe. Thanks so much for watching. Check out my links below. I've got lots of things going on. Do subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.